good? Welcome to Theo's Tailgate. As always, I appreciate anybody who's tuning in or just supporting in general. This 15th episode is going to feature Princeton's leading receiver, Luke Colella, who also became an All-Ivy selection after last season. He's another guy from the Pittsburgh area, graduating from North Allegheny High School, where he himself was a standout athlete, racking up numerous offers and playing on a pretty talented team alongside guys like Joey Porter Jr., who's currently balling for the Steelers. And as far as the jerseys go for this episode, I don't really have anything Princeton related or NA related, but I had some orange stuff, so I kind of just threw it up. We got Jalen Warren's Oklahoma jersey from the Fiesta Bowl his senior year. And we also got Justin Fields in the background right here. High hopes for him this year with the Steelers. But Luke's about to head back up to Jersey to start summer workouts and whatnot, so let's catch up with him. Boy, Luke joining us. How you, bro? How's the summer treating you?
What's up? It's all good. Weather's been good over the past couple weeks, so it's been easy to get to the field. Got a few QBs throwing with me, a couple of my buddies, so that's been good. Lift's been good. I'm healthy, so summer's been off to a great start so far.
No doubt. Are you excited to get back up on campus?
For sure, yeah. I feel like getting out of here is like sometimes the best for, I guess, kids our age, but there's not really anything left in Pittsburgh around here anymore, so, or at least for kids our age, and trying to make it through sports. So Princeton's a great place for me to be right now, and being there with the guys and working out with the team is I guess my calling right now, and I feel like that's where I'm at home the most right now.
How long does it take you to get up to Jersey?
It depends, like what day you're going. I guess weekends you probably get there a little bit faster. The weekdays take a little bit longer, but I'd say like average like 5 hours, 15 minutes, 5.5 hours probably.
Are you headed into your last year eligibility this upcoming season? Or
so my freshman year was the COVID year, so our season was shut down. So I've only officially played 3 years of college football. So I'll have one more this coming fall at Princeton, and then if I want to, I'll have a grad transfer year somewhere else, which would be cool if I want to take that. If not, see what the other paths are after this season.
Sure, you guys went 5-5 last year, 4-3 in the Ivy, and like you said, you're heading into your 4th year of college football. Obviously, you got some high expectations for next season.
Yeah, we definitely do. Myself, personally, and my team as well. You said 5-5 last year, but what's crazy about that 5-5 is I think in the 5 games that we lost by a total throughout all 5 games by 8 or 9 points, I think it was, which, I mean, we were right there, one step away from an Ivy League championship. We needed one more win. Unfortunately, we didn't get that, but we're loaded back up and ready to go for next season, and I think we'll do a good job this year.
Yeah, you were 1 game away from the Ivy last year, and your QB1 just participated in minicamp with the Eagles. Do you guys have a quarterback position kind of solidified for this upcoming season?
I think with any position that you have at the Division I level, it's always a battle. We have a lot of guys, really good quarterbacks, really talented players that I have all the faith in the world in. Losing our starting quarterback from last year, who's been a starter for 2 years, is a big question for any Division I team, and I am 100% confident in whoever takes the reign and whoever takes control will do the best job and will lead us to a good season for sure.
No doubt, bro. You have many other key players returning, such as yourself. But do you have any other local guys up there from the Whippeal with you?
Yeah, actually, we got a few. Charlie Rossi out of South Fayette. He's a couple years younger than me, but he's been there. He's been doing a great job. I'm excited for the season he's going to have. We have Mac Duda from Thomas Jefferson. He was a crazy good lineman in the Whippeal. He's doing really good things for us up at school. I can't wait to see what the season has for him as well. And then there's been some guys who've been there who have graduated. We had some guys from Mount Lebanon my freshman year. Graham Adamitis, who was a Central guy, he graduated. I never played with him, but he was up there. And then we have some.
Yeah, I think Graham actually. Graham was on the Colts for a little bit, I believe.
Yeah, he was. He did. He had a little stunt with the Colts, and then we have some recruits that I know from around the Whippeal who have getting looks from Princeton. We also have a kid who was a freshman this year. His name's Aiden Besselman. He went to Upper St. Clair. He's a receiver. Him and Charlie Rossi are both in the receiver room and doing really good things for us. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see how those guys develop and how everything works out for them.
Sounds like you're loaded with the Pittsburgh guys up there. You yourself had over 600 last year receiving, and I think it was like 8 or so receiving touchdowns. But what would you say do you think is the strongest part of your game, whether it might be like speed, awareness, physicality, jack of all trades?
Yeah, I think since I've been young, the thing that's separated me kind of on the field is my speed. It's always been that, and I think that's what it continues to be. I like being a deep threat. I like catching the ball short and running long, and I think speed helps a lot with that. And it's a testament to the work that a lot of us athletes put in throughout the years and developing that speed and that confidence and putting the whole package together to really succeed on the field and help your team win.
And I know you're a hard worker in the weight room and whatnot, kind of a weight room guy. So is your brother. Would you say that you're stronger than him?
I don't know. It's close. I think he's definitely got me in the upper body. He's got a few pounds on me as well, but upper body, I think he's got me. But when it comes to cleaning and swatting, maybe I think I got him there. But yeah, he's a big, strong kid, so it's hard to compete with him. But he pushes me. We live together when I'm home, so he pushes me and gets me going and doing the right things to help build my strength.
Yeah, definitely probably a good guy to lift with. But in order to be wide receiver 1 for the Tigers, you obviously have to be locked in for games and whatnot. You have like a pregame ritual that kind of gets you locked in, whether it's like a song or a stretch or whatever it may be?
Yeah, so before the game, when we go out on the field, for like even before warm-ups, when you're just warming up by yourself, they're kind of playing music on the speakers, so I really kind of just vibe to that and kind of do my own stretch, kind of do my own thing, get loose, run some routes, catch some balls with the quarterbacks. But when we get in the locker room after warm-ups and stuff, I'm pretty to myself. I tend to be pretty quiet, kind of just locked in on what I have to do, just kind of visualizing and putting my play in the hands of God and hoping that I can get done what needs to be done out there. And then in terms of like music or a song or anything, I'm a big Chris Brown guy. So I mean that's really all I listen to. But before the game, I'm not really listening to that type of R&B stuff. But I'm kind of just like with whatever's playing in the locker room, whatever on the speaker. But just listening to that and kind of staying to myself and locked in.
Yeah, Chris Brown's definitely a great. But did you have a favorite moment last season? Or a couple?
I think I definitely had a few. In terms of like the team, beating Harvard is always a great feeling. You know, that's a long-standing rivalry, and I think it's been 8 or 9 years since we've lost to them. So continuing that tradition last year and getting that win felt pretty good for our team. I think it was kind of like a turning point for our season where, yes, stuff didn't go the way we wanted to at the end, but that kind of gave us the confidence that yes, this could work out and we could become champs. And then me personally, I think scoring a touchdown against Yale to kind of send it to overtime in the late stages of the game was pretty cool. Maybe scoring my first touchdown of the season against San Diego was pretty cool, but definitely I think the win against Harvard trumps all that, and it's really cool to keep that tradition going and beating them year after year.
So the Ivy League does have a rich history when it comes to football. Princeton's definitely involved with that. Would you say that's something you guys take pride in, and maybe you feel that being up there as a Tiger?
Yeah, for sure. Princeton is a historically known football program and school. One of the first national champions ever, way back whenever football was first starting in college. But yeah, we take great pride in the tradition that has been instilled in Princeton football in the locker room, in the weight room, and on the field. And I think any Princeton football player, it's their job to continue that for the guys that have been there, for the guys that are going to be there for themselves, and even off the field, it's just a way of life. It's a brotherhood. It's something that we all value, and the Princeton football family values to the most. So I would definitely say that tradition plays a big part in how we conduct ourselves and how we want to be as athletes and even men.
And just within Princeton itself, do you guys maybe have any traditions like just like walkout traditions or anything of that nature?
In terms of walking out, we kind of pick the song by year. Some games there's fireworks, but I wouldn't say there's necessarily a set tradition. Maybe like the way we kind of gather together in the tunnel, but after the game, we line up in front of the band and kind of sing our alma mater, and I guess that could be considered a tradition. But in terms of one tradition that stays year to year, I would say the alma mater. Other than that, we kind of see how the vibe is for the team that year, and we work with it off that.
Being a Division I student athlete anywhere is pretty challenging. How hard would you say it is to manage your academics and balance it out with football?
I think that's a common question that a lot of athletes get coming when they're in college and like almost coming into college from high school. But I think it comes down to knowing what you signed up for. When I decided that I wanted to go to Princeton, I knew that it was going to challenge me academically and athletically, and knowing that going into it kind of prepared me for what those challenges were going to be. In terms of the academic side, I think that it may be a little bit different than other places, but for the most part, you kind of just find your way along. I wouldn't say that it's some hard, crazy school that like many people would think. But there is definitely times where you have to sit down and grind, and there's other times where you can kind of focus more on football, but you have to pick and choose those moments carefully and make sure that you're paying attention to both. And they always say that the hardest part about any Ivy League school, Princeton, Harvard, anywhere like that, is kind of getting in. And once you get in, everything kind of falls into place, and you learn how everything works, and you learn where you are in the school, and you learn how to manage your time effectively and how that's going to help pay off in the future.
Ivy Leagues do obviously set you up for the future, but you guys had Yossi Vosh catch 4 touchdowns as a rookie for the Bengals last year. Your quarterback just did a mini camp with the Eagles. Will Perez just did a mini camp with the Giants. Is getting to the league obviously a goal of yours?
Yeah, it's definitely a goal of mine. I've wanted to do that since I was a little dude running around on the field with a helmet. But I think that's ultimately a goal that's definitely in reach. I feel like Princeton is the best of both worlds, so you get the best athletic world, and if that doesn't work out, then you have the best academic world to follow that up. And I think having that in the same spot, in the same place, is a really good determinant for your future and how you want to move forward after college.
You yourself led the Tigers in receiving yards last season and are probably a leader in the room, but are there any other wideouts that we can look out for next year?
Yeah, I think we have a really solid room top to bottom, the old guys and the young guys. We have some veterans returning like Matthew Mahoney, AJ Barber, Tamatoa, Falatea, Jalen Gear. We got some young bucks like I was talking about earlier, Charlie Rossi, Aiden Besselman, Roman Lorio, Rashad Caldwell, and I think even top to bottom the room looks really good. I'm confident in any of them to step in and get the job done. And it's going to be a fun year with a fun group of guys.
Who would you say was the hardest corner that you went against last season?
So the Ivy League's kind of tricky when it comes to corners and defensive backs and stuff. There's not much man coverage played. It's really a lot of cover 4, a lot of deep quarter stuff. But in terms of a matchup that I felt throughout the game maybe was, I'm not sure of their names, but there was a defensive back for Brown and then a defensive back for Cornell, who were both pretty good players that I thought did a good job against us in particular and throughout the season.
What about NFL? You got a favorite NFL guy?
Yeah, it's probably a pretty typical answer, but Tyreek Hill's up there. Cooper Kupp is up there. Obviously, Julian Edelman was one of my favorites, but I would have to definitely go with Cooper Kupp and Tyreek Hill right now.
And then being a speedy wide receiver, would you say one of those guys may be your NFL comparison?
I think it's hard to make a comparison this early. Obviously, comparing myself to Tyreek Hill would
Yeah, that's true.
not do him justice because he's clearly one of the fastest men in the world. But I would say I would play like Cooper Cup. I can run those inside, outside, over the ball kind of routes, and win the man coverage outside, and kind of play big when I have to and play small when I have to. But yeah, I think Cooper Cup is probably a decent comparison.
And then being a pretty good route runner, do you have a favorite route maybe?
Yeah, I think the route changes. My favorite route changes kind of depending on the coverage. If you get man coverage, obviously a go route or a slant route, kind of where you can win off the ball is kind of and get some separation is a fun route to run and a fun route to kind of have your quarterback know you're doing. But in terms of like a zone coverage, maybe like it's typical, but everyone loves a good deep post route, maybe a post corner. Any of those deep routes kind of definitely are the best.
Being a local guy and playing high school at NA, would you say that NA is one of the better programs in Whitfield?
For sure. I think back-to-back Whitfield champions these past 2 years. Coach Walker and his staff have done a great job there. It's definitely fun playing for a powerhouse like that and competing against the best in the state in 6A. And yeah, I think definitely I would consider them a powerhouse, and I'm blessed to have been a part of that program and learned from so many great coaches and other players around me.
And would you say you guys have the best stadium in Whitfield as well?
Yeah, I think that's definitely 100% the truth. I mean, I haven't seen, maybe there is now, but back when I was in high school, I didn't see any other stadiums with a full screen jumbotron out there that had instant replay and everything that was a part of that stadium. But I think the community really makes the stadium. Having 8,000 to 10,000 people there when we played Pine Richland or Central Catholic, I think was a really, really, really good vibe for us and gave us the confidence that we had the community backing us to go out there and win games.
And how was the recruiting process for you coming out of North Allegheny? Was Princeton an easy choice?
The recruiting process, I think for a lot of people is long and there's a lot that goes into it. But in terms of from North Allegheny, recruiting kind of started towards the end of my sophomore year and really picked up the summer of my junior year. And I think in terms of Princeton, like that's just an opportunity that myself, along with my family, didn't feel like we would turn down. Coach Flynn, our receivers coach up there, and Coach Serace, our head coach, are two of the greatest people I know and have kind of been like fathers to me away from home. And once I got that vibe from them, and once I really sat down and talked with them and how Princeton could set me up for the future, I think it was a no-brainer. And I'm forever grateful for Princeton and everything that it has taught me and given me and my family. And there's not a regret in the world that I have. And I'm just thankful that I chose to be there with so many great people and great teammates and coaches.
Yeah, that makes sense, bro. And you guys also have some pretty cool jerseys. Do you have a favorite jersey combo, maybe?
Yeah, I think anything all white or all black is always going to look the best. Maybe all white under like a night game with the big lights on, but yeah, all white or all black always looks the best. I think you can kind of, once you stay one solid color with some accents here and there, I feel like that kind of looks the best as a team. And then I think position wise, especially for our receivers, the white or the black definitely looks the best.
We saw you at 4 up at North Allegheny and then 83 these past few seasons up at Princeton. Is there a different number we can expect to see you in this season, or are you rocking out with the 83 again?
Yeah, so in high school, number 4 was kind of my sophomore year. I always liked wearing single-digit numbers, right, like every other receiver in the world. But so when I came my sophomore year, I saw the number 4 was available, and I kind of rocked with that throughout my 3 years of high school ball. And then when I got to Princeton, you kind of, the seniors and the upperclassmen already have the numbers that you would want as a freshman, and that's how it goes kind of at every program. And so I got 83, and one of my favorite players ever was Wes Welker, and I kind of rocked with it for 3 years. This year I might be wearing something else. I'm not entirely sure yet, but it's either 83 or number 1, so we'll see.
Either way it goes, bro, you look pretty sweet in that 83, I'm not gonna lie.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
You a Steelers fan though?
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan. Born and raised in Pittsburgh, so it's kind of hard not to be. I feel like you're forced to be, and I wouldn't want it any other way, honestly. It's been hard the past couple of years, but I think with our new quarterback situation this year in Pittsburgh, things are going to start to turn uphill for us.
Yeah, I think we're going to turn it up too. And we also got these NBA playoffs around the corner. Are you going to be tuned into that?
I have been a little bit. Some of these weeknights when me and my friends are bored around here, we'll go to one of our houses and watch the games. But yeah, I'll definitely be tuned in for the finals here.
And then we had some crazy fights the other night. I don't know. Are you a UFC guy by chance?
Yeah, I'm a big UFC guy. My mom has been a fighter now for a long time. She's in the American Taekwondo Association right now, fighting. She's like a 20-time world champ. So that's always kind of been part of my DNA. So I do a little bit of that on the side, but also I am a big UFC fan. I love Dana White, and I love what he's doing with the UFC. And yeah, the fights last weekend were all right. I'm not a big fan of the whole wrestling part of the UFC because sometimes as a viewer it gets kind of repetitive. But yeah,
I agree with Islam doing that.
3A fan. And then I'm excited for McGregor to make his comeback, I think at the end of June here, or early July, or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's around the corner. I'm pretty sure it might be like in few weeks here. But how is it up there in Jersey, bro? Do you like the campus? Is it like a good vibe and whatnot?
Yeah, no, the campus is one of the most beautiful campuses in the country. It's a great place. It's surrounded by a good community, a good town, very family-oriented town, I would say. And I think it's very fitting for the type of people that we have there, all good people who support us and support the school in general, and the community comes together. So I think it's a good vibe for us up there, for sure.
And do you have a favorite food spot up there, maybe?
Oh, man. Yeah, there's a couple. In terms of something quick, maybe on the quicker side, there's a place called Taqueria. It's more of like an authentic kind of taco spot that kind of puts Chipotle and those kind of places to shame. But other than that, like D'Angelo's Italian Market is really good for something quick that you're looking for. If you want to sit down, there's a couple spots. One, Witherspoon Grill. Another one, La Mazzaluna, which is an Italian spot, which is probably my favorite, honestly. But yeah, there's a few good spots up there to eat for sure.
Can you yourself cook?
I wouldn't call myself a chef, but I can definitely cook what I need to cook. Right now, off season, I'm in training and stuff, so it's a pretty strict diet. So I can cook what I need to be eating right now. But in terms of like chefing up some crazy gourmet meal, that's probably the wrong guy for that.
So what would you be bringing to the tailgate then?
I gotta say a football, man, and a camera. I think obviously football, because football's the best sport in the world, and at the tailgate, that's always, throwing the football around is always one of the best times. And then a camera to capture the moments and the memories with the people you care about and the people you love, I think is a very underrated aspect of the world today. And I feel like having those memories and capturing them in the form of the photos is a great way to remember the good times you've had with your friends and family.
For sure, bro. Might be one of the best answers yet, no cap. But I appreciate you hopping on and joining me, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Pocket collapses, flushed right. Number 18 on the move into the end zone, into coverage. Catch made. Touchdown, Princeton. Another gem by Luke Colella.
And Colella steals one, taps the toe.
That's really well covered.
That is 6 points all.